D4, D5, C4, E6, Knight C3, and this point we're going to look at what C6 looks like. The Notebook or Abraham's variation. And what the chess.com calls it is the Queen's Gambit declined Semi-Slav Defense accelerated move order. This innocent-looking little move is in fact the first step into one of the most exciting variations the world of chess openings has to offer. Okay, and then knight to f3. Looks like top moves here it would be e3, knight f3. Looks like both are in the same area. E4, c captures, bishop f4. Okay. Trying to get ready for the mute button if I have a sneeze. Okay. Knight f3. By playing this natural move, flexible and aiming to develop his pieces, White allows the Noteboom Variation, which is also known as the Abraham's Variation. There are three major alternatives, the most popular one being 4e3. So let's go back. And yeah, the most popular is e3. This normally leads to the Moran variation of the Semi-Slav Defense. Okay. After Black plays 4 knight f6, and then Black plays 5 knight f3. Yeah, it actually transitions Semi-Slav Defense Main Line. But Black may also choose to go for a relatively favorable version of the Stonewall variation of the Dutch defense by playing f5. Okay, so instead of moving the knights, after White plays e3, and actually yet second most popular move, if we do f5, boom. This is a relatively favorable version of the Stonewall variation of the Dutch defense by playing f5. Okay. Another option, besides the fourth move e3, is c captures d5. Is an attempt to reach the exchange variation, but White's options are limited here as compared to the regular ways to reach this line. For example, after e takes d5, looks like between e and c, e is definitely the most popular with 1,751 games, and then c is only 47 games. Got a sneeze coming. I'm getting there. I think it's coming soon. Okay. After e takes d5, the move 5 bishop g5 is not possible, while bishop to f4 allows bishop to d6, yeah, giving Black a much easier game than in the exchange variation proper. Yep, makes sense to me. So knight f3 would be the Queen's Gambit Semi-Slav Defense accelerated move order again. Bishop f4, same thing. Queen c2. Yep. Different variations. All right. And then it says e4 is very interesting. Let's go back. e4, the third most popular moves here. So we see this setup. Where black kind of has this wall of pawns here. A stone wall, almost like a stone wall. And then white has these 3 pawns in the center. Potentially could even go for a 4th one too if they needed. Okay. This is a totally logical move, which has one disadvantage only, which is d takes e4. Okay, let's see how that looks. And that's actually the most popular move here. Okay. Knight takes e4, and then bishop b4 check. Now the retreat, knight to c3, offers little hope of an advantage because it gives black the opportunity for a counter thrust in the center with c5. Okay. So if I do knight c3, c5 is the thrust. Oh, what's this one called? This is called Queen's Gambit Decline Forgotten Variation c5. Wow. The critical move is actually bishop to d2. Let's go back here. Most popular, yep. I see. So between bishop d2, which is the most popular, is the Queen's Gambit Declined Marshall Gambit. And then the Queen's Gambit Declined Forgotten Variation. Okay. So bishop d2. The critical move is bishop b2, sacrificing 1 or even 2 pawns after queen captures d4. Bishop captures bishop on b4. Queen captures e4 check. And either bishop to e2, which looks like it's the most popular. Both are considered Marshall Gambit. Bishop e2 is most popular, with a 45% win rate for white, 29% for black. Or we have knight to e2. White has a sound lead in development, but black's position has no real weaknesses. After some years of great popularity during the 1990s, white seems to have lost interest in this gambit. After some years of great popularity during the 1990s. That's when I was playing chess in tournaments. I'm wondering if, I was in middle school, but I'm wondering if what caused that great popularity of the Marshall Gambit. White seems to have lost interest in this gambit. Okay. Interesting. Definitely something to study and look at more. So d takes c4. So let's go back. All right. And so main line is knight f3. D takes c4. And what is this called now? So if black had played knight to f6, it's just called the Semi-Slav Defense. But d takes c4, here we go, is called the modern triangle Noteboom Variation. f5 would be the Queen's Gambit Decline Queen's Knight Variation. And then Queen d7. Okay. Let's do d takes c4. Taking on c4 is a major theme in many variations of the Queen's Gambit, its consequences being subtly different in almost every case. Yeah, it's interesting. All right. So next is going to be e3. Looks like most popular move is a4. E3, second most popular. There's also e4. Okay. G3. Oh, wow. So G3 is actually called the Modern Triangle Anti-Noteboom Gambit. Playing G3. All right, so 5 E3. What makes this particular line so surprisingly uncontrollable is that this seemingly modest and reticent reply to black's capture on c4 is in reality the starting point of the truly mind-boggling complications of the Noteboom Main Line. The seemingly more aggressive e4 is less forcing. For example, black can reply with b5, a4, and bishop to b4. Okay. And considerably less popular as is 5 bishop g5. Yeah, only 181 games have played it. Actually, it's also called the anti-Noteboom variation. Same thing with g3. So it says as popular as bishop g5. Though both these moves may well be worth some deeper investigation. Okay. And this is a4, which actually is the most popular move right now. a4 has no independent significance after bishop b4, e3, or even e4, followed by b5. Okay, let's go back. e3, b5, a4, bishop b4, bishop d2. Yep. All right, bishop d2. Oh, I see. With bishop d2, you're able to protect that pawn with the knight. Okay. Versus playing e4. Got it. All right, bishop d2. White manages to win back the pawn because he still has the break b3 up his sleeve. But the real point of the Noteboom is that black has a particularly venomous answer to this. Bishop b7. Okay. a5. Based on exactly the same idea, has also been played. Oh, 5 a5. Okay. Instead of bishop b7, a5. And a5 is called the Slav Defense Modern Triangle Noteboom Abraham's variation with 7a5. Or bishop b7, which is just the Noteboom variation. So it says, what does it say about a5 now? a5, based on exactly the same idea, has also been played. Theory has not quite decided yet what the most accurate move is, but they usually lead to the same position shown in the next diagram. Okay. So go back to bishop b7. A takes b5. Bishop takes c3. Bishop takes c3. C takes b5. b3 and a5. And this is the Abraham's variation. Okay, with a5. Okay. This is the point and the reason why the Noteboom variation has deserved its prominent place in chess theory. After b takes 11, b takes c4, b4, bishop b2, and knight f6. It turns out that black has managed to drop 2 connected pass pawns on the queenside behind the enemy lines, so to speak. These may well intimidate a pessimistically inclined player of the white pieces to a disastrous degree. Yet the optimistically inclined will look at his massive central pawns and judge the position quite differently. Whoever wants to play this line with either color will need a good deal of theoretical knowledge or a lot of self-confidence, and preferably both. So interesting. So in these lines, bishop d3 is the most popular move by far. Other choices has been c5, bishop e2. Interesting.